Okay, y'all, I don't have my notes or whatever, but I did see it. And so hopefully I can go by every scene just off of memory. All right, it began with Kenya Moore, and well, I guess we can't say that anymore, can we? How about we just call it Kenya Moore? How about that? So Kenya and Claudia is meeting up. Claudia finally got her little place. I believe it's a condo or apartment, and it's real cute. Kenya came over there, snatched or whatever, walked up. I was like, Kenya, say what you want to say about Kenya, but the girl is pretty. She's just pretty. Excuse me, I just belched in a sentence. That was classy. So she came over, and Claudia started talking about that. She finally could afford a place. Yada yada. Good for her. Um, but Claudia tells Kenya, but I need you to help me with something. I need you to help, put up these damn curtains, and I need you to help me put this damn TV together, or it made no sense, or put some whatever the hell together. But anyway, it was some hard damn labor, and Kenya was just like, hell no, you need some means. So they went out the room and go look for some means to put that shit together. Okay, because ain't nobody got time for that. Um, Child, Candy's going over to Mama Joy's old house, which is, of course, Candy's old house, and the damn foundation is fucked. Like, she done went in the damn bathroom. The whole bathroom is torn apart. The sink is laying on the ground. There's holes all in the ceiling. How a bitch get holes in the ceiling? Like, apparently, Mama Joy's crazy ass ex boyfriend is the fool. Like, he was just going off. I don't know what the hell happened. I don't know if he called himself trying to remodel or whatever he did, but he shouldn't have did it. Like, he should have consulted with Candy about this, seeing as how it's still her house. Her name was still on the house. But hey, Mama Joyce just know that she gonna move in the neighborhood with Todd them, and that's all she really care about. Y'all know Joyce. Joyce. Speaking of Mama Joyce, um, we saw her sisters this episode. Candy's aunt, Aunt Nora, and Aunt Bertha, who we live for, and it was just like, "Hey, Candace, baby, when is you gonna get some kids, baby?" And Candace just like, "Well, aunties, Lee and Todd is working on getting some kids, but it just so happened to not come yet. So I don't know what to do." Well, baby, you leave work or leave from wherever you got to do, and you get back on that dick, baby. Candace was like, "Yes, ma'am." So they started talking about, crowd crazy Joyce is, and of course how her man is crazy, and it's just like it's kind of a double standard. Like if it was Todd who tore up Candace's place, it would have been all hell on earth, and yeah, it would have been. And but she wasn't even tripping. When Joyce had a man or whatever. It's crazy because this whole time I was thinking that Joyce didn't have a man. How much she was in Candace's business, but she got a man of her own, and he just, I don't know. I guess when she go home, another part of the house is tore up. Just a mess. Okay, so Cynthia is talking to her sister, who's beat, and her mama, who's also beat. Beautiful women, and Peter Pan, Peter Pumpkin, Peter Cotton Gin, um, Peter I Want a Peach comes in. She's still talking about damn Nene. Apparently Nene been on blogs and they said all kinds of shit about Nene, and Cynthia just ain't had it no more. Cynthia in her wig, she was just like, "Look, I'm just not having this shit anymore. I'm done with this. I'm done with Nene. Nene and I will never be friends again. Yada yada." Okay, Cynthia. I kind of like this new Cynthia, but my friends and I was talking, and we was like, well, they pretty much think that they don't like this new Cynthia. A lot of people don't like this new Cynthia. Um, like we would, like my friends and I was talking earlier, we was like, maybe she should have been turned up. Like if this is who she really is, she should have showed this from the very beginning. But I guess it just takes a moment for some people, getting comfortable with the camera. Also, Nene wasn't her and Nene really didn't have a falling out, so and she really didn't have a big issue with the other girls that much, so it really wasn't no need for her to flip out like this. But hey, I don't know. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the new Cynthia. I personally don't have an issue with it, bitch. You know, better late than never. Get your check, cause Lord knows they was gonna give your ass the boot. So show out. You know, Peter, of course, adding his 2 cents like Peter always do. Whatever. Candace go over to Phaedra house, and she's just like, "What's up, Phaedra?" Phaedra's just like, "Hey, child." It's like, "I'm making guacamole. It looked good. I wish I had some." Phaedra is snatched. Phaedra and Kenya Moore is absolutely gorgeous in their confessionals. They look amazing. Just wow. Phaedra lost weight. Phaedra looks good. I'm happy for Phaedra. Um, they going over and talking, and Candace just like, "Look, Phaedra, uh, I think that we should all, you know, come together and have a sister girl meeting, and you know, just sit down and talk about everything." Phaedra's just like, "What?" It's like, "Are you serious?" Phaedra's like, "Look, I don't believe that shit about Apollo. I believe that Apollo was lying about lying, which is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. If the man said it out his own mouth that he was lying, why wouldn't you believe him? Like you hate. I understand you don't like somebody, but I mean, call a thing a thing. Like, don't let your feelings about somebody block you from what's right. Block you from reality. Like he's telling you out his own mouth, he's lying. Like, you know, he's going to jail or in jail or whatever for lying and you know doing a whole bunch of other shit. So why wouldn't you? But whatever. So Phaedra's just like, "Look, I ain't with the shit, and you know I don't even care. It's just like whatever. But you know what, Candace? If you put this meme together, then I'll go ahead and go." So um, what else happened? I think that was that it after that scene. I'm trying to think, y'all. I'm just going strictly off memory. Um, I think so. I'm just going to get straight to that. All right. So all the girls. So who shows up first? Phaedra shows up first. She got on this cute little dress, adorable hair, slick to the gods. Um. Then you know, of course, Candy was already there. She came, got that first prompt. This is the first time Candace was ever on time. And of course, this is her shit that she set up. So of course she's gonna be on time. Would have been a little whack if she would have been the last person walking in, right? Then I think Kenya walked in, and you know, Kenya spoke to Phaedra, just like, "Hey, Phaedra." Phaedra's like, "Hi." Portia, then Cynthia, or maybe it was. Okay, this is how the order I think it went. I think it was Candace is already there, then Phaedra, then I think Cynthia, then Kenya, then Portia, then Nene, something like that. But anyway, Nene walked in like somebody was holding her hand, like Mariah. And, you know, when nobody hold her hand, we fell out, my friends and I. Shouts out to Juan and Faith. Yes, God. Um, that's Juan Pookie Jeter on Facebook and Faith Peters on Facebook, Spartanburg, South Carolina. Ow. Anyway, so they all sit down and the shade starts immediately. First of all, that damn waiter. Phaedra and Candace asked for water a long time ago. The boy came back to the table. Phaedra was like, is did the well one dry? Like, what is going on with the water? I was wondering the same thing. Like, what the hell is going on with the water? Like, give them that water. Like, the second time he came out, he should have had Candace and Phaedra water right there ready for them. So the girls ask, and you know, he handed them some dry ass crackers, and Nene was like, these showless stale, child." I fell out. That scene was really, really funny. At first, it starts off with Kenya. Of course, she's the first one to start talking, and she's like, "Look, Apollo apologized. Um, a lot of things were said about me, but you know, you heard it out the horse's mouth. Paulo apologized, and I would appreciate it if you know, I feel vindicated, and I would appreciate it if you guys wouldn't call me out my name." And Phaedra's mumbling something. Kenya was like, "What did you say, Phaedra?" Phaedra's like, "They quack like a duck." If it walk like a duck, if it's yellow like a duck, it's a damn duck. Yes, I called you a whore. And what? Well, Kenya was just like, you know what, and you're dumb. And Phaedra was just like, well, look, it's what the fuck it is, and that's my business, and this and that. So pretty much, Phaedra kind of gave a half-ass apology. She was just like, look, I will not, I will not. Pretty much, she said, I will not call you a whore anymore, and that's it. But she's not gonna call you her friend either, Kenya. So hey, so it was kind of a half-ass apology. Kenya Moore was like in her confessional, she was just like, um, you know what, Phaedra is not gonna say exactly what I want her to say. That she apologized and that I'm not a whore because she want people to still think that I'm a whore or whatever. Could be whatever. Who cares? So then we get to Cynthia, Nene, Candy, smiling ass, damn Chester Cat. She was like, okay, well, Cynthia and Nene, how she was like, Nene, how do you feel about Cynthia? How is it to feel how is it how is it to see Cynthia? Nene was like, oh, it's good to see Cynthia. I ain't seen Cynthia in a while, child. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Lanithia Leaks, especially after the past 2 seasons of The Housewives, but that bitch is funny. She is hilarious. I fell out. Nene and her nose. What is going on right here? It's right here. It's something going on with the very tip of Lanithia Leak's nose. Like, I don't know what it is. It's something going on. It's like there's a lot of pressure on that tip of her nose. So she was just like, and Candy was just like, yeah, and Nene was like, yeah, I can speak to her. So they start talking, and Cynthia with her hands, and she start going in and saying all kinds of stuff, and Nene was like, "Oh, something interesting that I noticed was when Candy kind of spoke up for Kenya, she was just like, "Look, all of us pretty much believe Apollo that about everything that he said." And she was just like, "Look, I think we all kind of owe her an apology. I already apologized." Nene was like, "Well, are you on Phaedra's side or Apollo's side?" Asking Candy. And it was like, that was interesting. Candy was like, "I'm always for Phaedra, but I'm always for what's right too." So, good for Candace, I guess. She's low key a shit starter though. Um, what else? What was I talking about? Cynthia and Lanithia. They start talking, and you know, Cynthia was like, "Look, I don't want to bring this up in front of everybody." And he was like, "Look, I ain't got nothing to hide. Um, you and your husband was okay with me calling you a bitch. Like we had been went out to eat or whatever. We had squashed it. I called him a bitch. Yes, I did, and I apologized, and it was cool after that." Cynthia was like, "No, it wasn't cool after that." And he was like, "You going around, all of a sudden when we all got back together as a group at the reunion show, you all of a sudden had a different, state of mind, and all of a sudden you mad at me again about it, and I had no idea about it." Cynthia was like, "Well, the true tea is that you got mad at me because you felt like you sent me a text because you felt like Peter and I was on Kenya's side for the longest, so you got mad at that." I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both on both sides. I think that Cynthia's at fault for not addressing the issue then. When Nene called Peter a bitch, she should have read her ass right then, point blank in the period, instead of waiting. And apparently they had all kind of private meetings after that, and it was all good. So she should have kept addressing it until Nene, until Cynthia was satisfied with Nene's apology. Now Nene was at fault because Nene went on Andy's show right after that whole thing happened and pretty much dogged Cynthia out in front of everybody and was like, Cynthia pretty much don't bring anything to the show and she don't need to be a part of the show, which is true, but that's still your friend. You shouldn't say that, Lanithia. So I think they're both at fault. So pretty much Cynthia's at fault for not speaking up, not speaking enough, and Nene at fault for speaking too much. How about that? So it get pretty much heated, and Nene was just like, "I'm so sick of people thinking so sick of you sitting there looking, thinking that you innocent, and having people think that you innocent. All right, I'm so sick of that shit." So since Nene was very much so getting ready to get up, and it pretty much ended after that. I don't even know why Portia was there. Well, I see why, because we didn't see her ass the whole episode. Um, well, no, I see why Portia's there. Well, they just might as well go ahead and give Portia back her peach. I mean, really, she's been there um since the beginning of the season. Where the hell is Demetria? Calling all Demetrius, like my boy, Isaiah Parker and I, was saying or whatever. Like, where the hell is Demetria? Like, I don't get it. It's crazy. What's the point of Demetria even coming in? Really? Just give Portia back her peach and just make her the regular housewife and all that. So that's how I feel about that. But next week, Nene gonna be crying, but I ain't seen damn teardrop. Cynthia's gonna apologize and she be like, she want the friendship to go back to where it used to be. This is how I feel about that. I don't think that Cynthia should be all up in Nini's ass like she's been. I think that they can be cordial and should be friends again because it seemed like they really cared about each other. But I just think that there's a certain line that Nini shouldn't cross with Cynthia. Um, because low key, Nini have been kind of rude and doing certain having a certain behavior around Cynthia from the beginning. She just wouldn't say nothing. Y'all, if y'all know what I mean, I don't have a specific time because I can't remember, but it's been plenty times that, as I'm sitting here thinking that, Nene she's always yelled at Cynthia in a way. She's always been kind of sarcastic. But then again, some would say Nene's like that with everybody. So I don't know. But next week should be interesting. I think that they should be cordial and I think that they should be cool with each other and work on a friendship. But I think that, boundaries should be set in place. That's what I mean. All right, I'm Mr. Chalaki. I'm Mr. Chalaki on Google Plus. Follow me. I'm at S Kingsworld on Twitter. Chase Kings here on Facebook. And yeah, that was my review. Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 7, episode 4 or 5, maybe 6, one of them. Anyway, it's late here. All right, bye. Love y'all.